what's going on? So I'm gonna do a video based on a podcast I heard on TRT and the use of it and what their idealism was on it. But this will be just my interpretation on these set of questions that were asked from this podcast that I want to answer and give my own opinion on what I think the result is about TRT, its usage, its proper usage, and so on.
Due to the rise in TRT usage amongst young men and men in general, and all these TRT clinics opening up, what's your opinion on all of this and the inflection of TRT companies and the direction that they're trying to go? I just want to hear your thoughts.
Well, in my opinion, the reason why a lot of people want to use testosterone replacement therapy for what it is mainly for hypogonadal reasons. Well, that would be my reasoning on why. Also, all these clinics, they bottom line, they want to fortify making income. They want to make money. They know that there's a lot of money to be made in HRT and TRT clinics around the nation, maybe even worldwide, for that example of things. I don't know how it's really impacted overseas or in Europe or in Asia or South America, but because the rules are a little bit different, legalities are different, access is different, etc. But here in the United States, I know that the rise in TRT clinics is mainly for profit, number one, trying to help people, I would think. But obviously there's some discrepancies, I should say, on some of these clinics, and things are not, navigated appropriately, I should say, or mitigated appropriately, unfortunately. But that could happen in any clinic. Not all clinics, obviously. There's some great ones. There's some awesome ones that do everything, by the book and then exactly how they're supposed to. And there's probably ones that smidge the line, I should say, a little bit, and they kind of do things in their own aspect of things, which I don't agree with, but it is what it is.
So what are the risks involved and the dangers of high TRT or high dosage
Well,
testosterone replacement therapy?
TRT means testosterone replacement, therapy done by a clinic or a reputable clinic, So done respectfully, TRT should mean therapeutic. That's where the word TRT would come from, the therapeutic dosage of testosterone replacement. Replacing medically what hasn't been there endogenously due to either suboptimal levels, hypogonadism, etc. So that being said, in my opinion, it would be anywhere between 100 and 200 milligrams a week of testosterone replacement therapy to mitigate symptoms of hypogonadism or problems with their hypothalamus not signaling for GnRH, meaning gonadotropin releasing hormones sent through the gonads, obviously, due to the aspect of really low levels of LH and FSH, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. So that being said, they're trying to basically raise these levels with testosterone, and that's what the level of testosterone that would be implicated, exogenously speaking, would be, I think, around that 100 to 200 milligram range. Now, done not correctly, that's a whole different aspect of things, but I'm talking about medically stated necessity. Testosterone replacement therapy is definitely safe and effective and doesn't impact, the prostate, or doesn't raise levels of cardiovascular disease, in my opinion, if done correctly. Unsafe, that's a whole different method, but we're talking about safety, and we're talking about testosterone replacement therapy, like therapeutically speaking, from a doctor. Also a risk, of high-level TRT. Due to that question, high level would be not TRT anymore. It would be a blast, So in my opinion, anything above 300 milligrams or above 250 milligrams is getting in blast territory. So it would be super physiological territories of testosterone levels on your free and total testosterone levels if you're going above 250, 300, 400, milligrams a week. No matter how you titrate that, no matter how you separate the dosages, whether it be daily dosages, every other day, it wouldn't matter. We're talking about total milligram dosages for the week, would be an extreme level. And we're looking at, instability or problems with fertility, mainly when it comes to that level. Also, higher levels of erythropoietin or hematocrit hemoglobin, which would be erythropoietin. So red blood cell count can skyrocket up, which can cause other issues. It could lead to stroke, it could lead to high blood pressure, it could lead to all kinds of problems. But polycythemia and hemochromatosis are diseases that implicate high red blood cell count. And usually candidates that have these issues will have to donate whole blood every 4 to 6 weeks, some indications weekly or biweekly. And you'd have to get a script to donate. You can't just do that therapeutically, go donate blood on a weekly basis without a doctor's script. And that would be high implications of your iron count being above 19 or 20 on the levels for your hemoglobin. So that being said, that would be bad. Any kind of self-induced polycythemia, meaning coming from too much exogenous testosterone, can have implications of that being deleterious to those blood plasma levels. So you have to be very, very careful. So we don't want a high, super high red blood cell count. That's just not good, not good at all. Too high an iron count is not good, like I said. And like I said, infertility. You want to start blasting 400, 500, 600 milligrams of testosterone a week when you don't even need it, and you're 25, 30 years old or even younger, and you might have implications down the road. And it's going to take about, in my opinion, okay, this is anecdotally and this is just from my opinion, but 2 years or 3 years straight of exogenous testosterone use on a high level. So we're talking about high TRT, but 400 or 500 milligrams a week consistently for 24 to 36 months consecutively can cause complete suppression too from the hypothalamus, cutting off GnRH signaling for gonadotropin releasing hormones, meaning that your LH and FSH will just stay tanked. And if it stays tanked, it may never come back. You're gonna have to be dependent on testosterone for the rest of your life. So these are things that you have to implicate and think about long term ahead of time. So these are some of the implications I would think of. Like I said, infertility and high hematocrit hemoglobin levels. The other things about prostate and cardiovascular disease and other things, they're not really fully implicated because there's no real test done on that, on test subjects, as far as subjectively speaking. There hasn't been a clinical trial on if people run 500 milligrams of testosterone for 5 years straight, what's going to happen to you. Everybody's different. Their genetic predisposition on how they would accept the testosterone, what's going to happen to them long term. We don't really have full-on studies on that, but I'm going off things that I think could happen and might happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, okay? Because everybody's body is different.
So say we switch directions and go on the opposite perspective of things. If young men and men in general want to raise their levels of testosterone naturally, what would the big movers be? What would be the best thing that they need to do to make this happen?
Well, one of the big things would be look upon yourself to see what things that you're not doing correctly that could be tanking your testosterone levels to begin with. And I'm talking about a guy at any age. So let's try to improve our own endogenous production of testosterone. That's pretty much what the question's asking. Make sure your sleep's good, number one. So sleep deprivation can cause tanked levels of testosterone. That's really huge. That's number one. Poor diet, that's another thing that can create low testosterone levels. Stress, cortisol, which causes inflammation, can really negate testosterone levels and plummet your testosterone levels down. So if we can combat cortisol and inflammation, we can combat not crash levels of sleep, meaning you're getting 6 to 8 hours, or actually 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night, getting good sleep. We're talking deep, good REM sleep. And we're recovering from stress levels and not stressing too much. Magnesium citrate helps with stress. L-theanine is also a good thing for stress. So anyways, these things can help reduce some levels of stress, can reduce the levels of inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids like fish oils can help with inflammation as well, which can help raise testosterone levels and help lower LDL cholesterol as well, help improve HDL. And but number one, I think it goes back to sleep, making sure you get enough sleep, making sure you're not burning the midnight oil, staying up every night, getting 3 hours of sleep. Because the worst thing you can do for cortisol and for stress is to be up all night, be up all day, get crap sleep, go and take a bunch of fat burners and caffeine and drop your addison levels so you can raise your cortisol even more and be wigged out with your adrenal glands, stress out your adrenals by taking in too much, pre-workout and all this crap to fight through your training and then train 7 days a week on top of it. So think about it. You're training every single day, cardio every single day, not sleeping at night, probably eating a shitty diet, relying on fat burners, relying on caffeine, relying on pre-workout. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? You think your endogenous levels in your endocrine system is going to be firing on all cylinders? You think you're going to be super high testosterone and high GH levels and great thyroid function and all this stuff? No, you're going to be fucked in all these perimeters, okay? You're going to have some pretty bad blood work, okay? And it's going to be indicative of bad lifestyle choices. Your lifestyle choices can be highly dependent on how good your endocrine system would be, and you're going to crash your own levels, I won't say permanently, but you're going to be crashing them pretty hard, through self-condoning it. Basically, you did it to yourself kind of a thing. But anyways, hope you like this video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any questions that you have for me about the videos that you might want to see in the future. And thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.